Welcome, thanks for joining me today. We will get started with a blanket, and then if you have a yoga block, that could be useful too, but I'll demo with the blanket because that's something that most people have in their house. In today's practice, we're going to focus a bit on kindness to ourselves. So this is just a gentle reminder to take the options that feel most beneficial in your body, and sometimes that means building heat, and sometimes that means more gentle restorative postures. So take whatever it is that you need, and remember there's poses like child's pose and shavasana that are there for you throughout the class that you can take anytime you would like to. But we will go ahead and get started on our backs. Let's come to lying down, soles of the feet press into the mat. And I like to take the soles of my feet out wide, let the knees knock in together. And take your hands to your belly, so somewhere between your lower ribs and your hips, maybe somewhere around your belly button. Notice the breath. In particular, notice the feeling, the sensation of the belly rising and falling. So the belly lifts up on the inhale, and the belly falls down, gets heavy on the exhale. As we inhale, our diaphragm, which sits kind of just on the bottom part of the ribs there, presses the contents of the abdomen down to create more space in the lungs for air. So that's that sensation of the belly rising, this diaphragm pressing down. Then when we exhale, the diaphragm relaxes back into the ribs, and that's that sensation of the belly falling back down. And this is just natural and happens whenever we breathe. But today I'm going to invite you to tune in a little bit more to that. So maybe on the next inhale, once the belly lifts up, you can kind of give the diaphragm like a little bit of a bump, a little bit of an assist there. So lift the belly up a little bit more, get more air in. And then on the exhale, as the belly falls, maybe give another little assist here to get all of the air out. Not as concerned about the length of breath here, but just this awareness of the breath in the diaphragm. Take a couple more breaths at your own pace. And if it does feel good, maybe begin to lengthen them out a little bit more. And on your next inhale, draw your knees into your chest, giving yourself a nice big hug, maybe rocking the spine side to side. And bring the soles of your feet back to the mat. Feet will be about like 6 to 12 inches from your bottom or so. Really, you want the knees to stack underneath, or the ankles to stack underneath the knees. So it's usually somewhere around 6 inches. Maybe even a little bit closer. Press the palms into the mat. And then begin to lift the hips up. Just a gentle bridge pose. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, lift up, gentle bridge. Exhale, lower it down. Maybe incorporate the arms. Inhale, arms reach overhead so you lift the hips up. And then exhale, hips and hands meet the mat at the same time. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, lower down. One more. And exhale, hands meet the mat. Draw the knees into the chest. And then rock and roll yourself up to the top of the mat, or roll onto one side, making your way up into a tabletop position. Stack your wrists underneath your shoulders. Length from the crown of your head down to your tailbone. Draw the belly in. Feel really stable and supported here before we begin to move. And And then inhale, drop the belly, allow the collarbones to come forward in space. Exhale, round through the spine, belly empties. One more like that. Inhale, look forward. And then exhale, curl the tail, chin tucks in. Inhale, come back to a neutral spine. And then inhale, lift your right arm up, a little twist here. Exhale, thread that arm underneath your left. Inhale, reach it up, little twist. And then exhale, thread it through and stay here. So right cheek or right side of the face is on the mat. Hips are beginning to lean back in space. And then if it feels good in your body, maybe start to walk your left fingertips forward. Might feel good too to rest your face on a blanket here. Breathe into the back side of the body. One more nourishing inhale. Exhale, let it go. And then inhale, walk the left hand back in if you reached it out in front of you. And reach your right arm up one more time. Exhale, hands meet the mat. Move through a couple cat-cows. So inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, press the floor away. Space between the shoulder blades. Curl the spine. Inhale, heart shines forward. Exhale, press it away, empty the belly. Inhale, left hand reaches up, twist. Exhale, left arm reaches underneath the right. One more like that. Inhale, reach it up. And then exhale, reach the left arm through. Left side of the face on the mat. Maybe grab a blanket. And then maybe walk your right fingertips forward. See if that feels good. Send some kindness to the right side of your body, to the back body. And allow the head to feel heavy. Your next inhale, walk the hands back in, reach the left arm up. And then exhale back to a tabletop position. Now draw the belly in here, so feel really stable and supported before we go anywhere. And start to press your hands really firmly on the mat so that you are pushing kind of the shoulder blades up in space, creating a little bit more space in between the shoulder blades, kind of protracting them here. And then tuck the toes under if they're not already. Lift the kneecaps and hover about an inch off the mat. Breathe. Option to skip this one out and go straight to down dog. Otherwise, try to calm the mind. Option to press into down dog now or stay for 3 more breaths. Belly draws in. One more big inhale. Stay on that exhale. Inhale, length through the spine. Exhale, downward facing dog. Great, so take a minute to set it up here. Everyone just bend deep through your knees. Allow the spine to get really long, and then exhale, maybe straighten them out. Bend through the right knee, then the left. Walk it out a little bit here. Let the head go. And then inhale, come high onto the toes. Exhale, step forward to your hands, forward fold. Softness in the knees if that feels good. Inhale, come up halfway, get a nice long spine. Exhale, fold. Now take your hands, if you've got the space for it, and clasp them behind your back, around your sacrum, in your low back. Fingers interlaced together, head still is heavy and hanging down, so you're still in a forward fold position. Bring the bend into the knees, and then start to press your fists back. So retract the shoulder blades, draw the shoulders back. Heart shines forward here. And then keeping a soft bend in the knees, inhale, come up to stand. Allow yourself to stand here a moment, shoulders drawing back and down. And then notice if your front ribs have flared out a little bit, draw them back in space. Soften the knees, forward fold, keeping the arms. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to a plank pose. So press the floor away here, and then collarbones start to move forward in space. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, take your right leg up behind you. Exhale, step your right foot near your right wrist. Left knee meets the mat, Anjaneyasana. So maybe take a blanket to your left knee here, or roll up the mat if there's any kind of sensation there that's uncomfortable. Fingertips reach up towards the sky, and then notice how you can sink in through the hips here. So you get really heavy in the hips. Can you draw your legs together? So the sensation of scissoring them together. More active. And then exhale, allow the hips to go, take the hands to cactus, open the heart. Inhale, lift it up, active here. Exhale, sink it down. Inhale, lift it up. One more, exhale, sink it down. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, hands meet the mat, and then send the hips back straight in through the front leg, half Padmanasana. So half splits here. It's okay if that front leg is bent. Notice the opening on the back side of the body here. The whole back line, space in the hamstrings. Inhale, bend through the front knee. Place your hands on the mat. Lift up the back knee, and without scraping that right foot, can you step back to plank? Press the floor away. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg reaches high. Exhale, step your left foot near your left wrist. Back knee comes down. Take the support you need. Inhale, reach the arms up. Again, notice the sensation of really sagging into this. Can you scissor the front leg more towards the back? So it should feel like your left foot is sort of sliding along the mat without it actually moving. It's this energetic sensation of drawing in towards the midline. And then exhale, sink down, cactus the arms. Inhale, lift it up, get active. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, lift up, feel the right front of the hip activate. Exhale, sink it down. One more, inhale, lift up. Exhale, get heavy. Inhale, lift it up. And then exhale, hands meet the mat. Draw the left hip back in space, straighten out the left leg. Maybe start to fold out over it. It's kind of a big one. Big into the hamstrings, the back line of the body. Breathe into that space. You can be like up here in this posture too, wherever you land. And it's okay if that front knee is bent. We're just going for some sensation in the back side of the left leg. Inhale, bend through the front knee. Pick up the back knee without scraping the foot. Step back to plank, press away, heart shines forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. So same thing again, we're just gonna add on a little bit to it. Inhale, right leg lifts high. Exhale, step your right foot near your right wrist, back knee down. Inhale, actively lift up. Exhale, cactus the arms, sink down. Inhale, hands meet the mat, straighten up the front leg, and exhale, sink back into half splits. Now inhale, walk the fingertips forward, bend through the front knee, and pick up the back leg, crescent lunge. Option to stay down on the back knee here. Now notice how that sensation of lifting up out of this can feel a lot different. So activate a lot through the back thigh. And then lengthen the skin on the back of the sacrum. So make sure that you're not flaring out your hips here, but that you're really drawing in. Then exhale, spin down the back heel. We're headed for warrior one. So I need a lot of like space and adjustment here. I'm gonna step in my back leg and then go kind of wider on the mat. Back foot's at a 45 degree, hips are aiming towards the front of the mat. And then take a moment to settle back into that posture. In your next exhale, take your hands into that clasp position behind your back. Elbows can stay bent, or option, begin to press away, open up the heart. So retract the shoulder blades. Notice if the front ribs flare out. Inhale, look up, lift the heart up. Exhale, humble warrior, bow it forward. Now bring some attention, some awareness to that right knee. Notice if it feels like it's tracking out over the front big toe, second toe, or has it started to kind of roll in? Maybe roll out to the side. Draw the right hip back in space. Breathe into that hip. One more big inhale. Exhale, keep the legs, hands meet the mat now. This is where it could be good to have a blanket or a block. So you're gonna turn your torso so that it's facing the same position as your hips, your pelvis. So probably somewhere around a 45-degree angle. And then begin to walk the fingertips out. This, like I said, this is where it's good where you could maybe fold your blanket and then reach for your blanket if you need a little bit more space. But begin to walk the hands out, and then we're looking for a downward facing dog position in the upper body. So let the head go. Nice long spine. I know it's a lot in the hips. Again, notice what that knee is doing, the right knee. How is it tracking? Draw your right hip back in space and send some breath and kindness to it. Not here much longer. And inhale, come back to the center. Ball of the back foot, exhale, out scraping the mat, step back to plank. Press the floor away, heart shines forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Option to stay in down dog, or maybe come down to your knees or child's pose, but just take a couple breaths to feel into the body, to notice the difference in each side. And created a lot of awareness in that right hip. Just notice what that feels like. And then wherever you're at, find downward facing dog. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So inhale, left leg lifts high. Exhale, step it between your hands, back knee down. Inhale, get that sensation of lifting, active in the hips. Exhale, sink it down, open the heart. Inhale, hands meet the mat, straighten the front leg. Exhale into half splits. Inhale, bend through the front knee. Lift up the back leg, crescent lunge. You can still feel that same sensation of scissoring through the legs here. Make sure that your feet are hip width apart still and that you're not trying to do this walking on a tightrope. And then exhale, spin down the back leg, 45-degree angle. And like I said, I take a moment to set up in this. So get yourself nice and comfy in warrior one. You know where we're going. Wide stance can be really helpful here. Fingertips reach up towards the sky. Hips are shining towards the front of your mat. And then maybe exhale, reach for the opposite grip this time, so the awkward grip. Inhale, reach the fists back, retract the shoulder blades, open the heart. And then exhale, bow it forward, humble warrior. Left shoulder is aiming for somewhere on the inner part of the left thigh, so that could be higher up. Let the head go, let the head get heavy here. One more big inhale. Exhale, hands meet the mat. Maybe grab a prop if you need it. Start to walk the fingertips out towards somewhere around a 45-degree angle. So just match where your hips are, where your pelvis is pointing. You're looking for downward facing dog in the upper body. Draw the left hip back in space. Notice where the left knee is tracking. Send some love and attention to your inner thigh, your left outer thigh, and just breathe. Breathe into that space. One more big inhale. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, walk the hands back, lift up that left leg, step back, plank pose. Press away, heart forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come back to that sensation of feeling in the body. And now notice. Notice now that we've evened out both sides. Inhale, come high on the toes. And then exhale, make your way forward to your hands. Half lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold it out. Inhale, come all the way up to the top. Fingertips reach up. Exhale, take your hands down to your sides. Pause here, maybe close down the eyes. And then blink open the eyes if they're not open already. Just gonna do a little stretch through the neck and the traps. So take your left forearm, take it behind your back. Right fingertips are gonna clasp your left fingertips. So this look here. And you're just gonna drop your right ear over to the right side. Maybe close down the eyes. And then maybe start to explore what it would feel like to drop the chin down a little bit more in space. Or stay right where you are. Find a spot that feels nourishing to you, most useful. And then gently release the grip. Take your right hand, press it into the right side of your face, and gently press your head back up. Take the same thing on the other side, so right forearm behind the back, left fingertips clasp the right. Inhale, get some length in the spine. And then exhale, drop the left ear over towards the left shoulder. Notice if you can send some softness into the right side of the neck, right top of the shoulder. Maybe explore the feeling of dropping the chin down in space. And release the grip and gently take your left hand to the left side of the face and press your head back up. And inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, soften the knees and fold. Inhale, half lift. exhale, step back to plank position. Come forward onto your toes, shoulders should go past the wrists, and then bend the elbows back, lower all the way down. I'm going to give you a couple options here. Option one is to come into Sphinx pose. So elbows should go under the shoulders to start with. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Start to activate through the quads, so lift up through the quads, and then begin to press your pubic bone into the mat. You should get a little bit more length in the lower back. Then from there, so this is really active, press the heart forward. So option to stay here. If this is a bit too much on the low back, you can always walk the hands out further. It's a bit more ease. So option to stay in Sphinx, or we're gonna take a couple rounds of Shalabhasana, locust pose, and then you can opt in and opt out whenever you want. So forehead meets the mat. I won't do that quite yet so that you can still hear me. And then palms reach back towards your hips, so palms facing down. Same thing as Sphinx pose, so press actively through the feet. Activate the quads. Press the pubic bone into the mat. And then inhale, begin to lift the heart up. Reach the arms back and retract the shoulder blades. Pause here and breathe. Notice that very real sensation of the diaphragm moving, the belly moving with the breath. Gaze is a few inches in front of your mat. One more big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Rest your cheek on the mat. If you're in Sphinx pose, you can continue to stay there or take that option of Shalabhasana with us next. Forehead comes back to center. And this time I'm going to invite you to clasp your hands together at your sacrum again. And then from here, everything's the same in the lower body. So press the tops of the feet in, thighs firm up, pubic bone presses into the mat, and then retract the shoulder blades, press the fists back. Inhale, lift the heart up, maybe lift the legs. Hold here and breathe. Gaze just a little bit out in front of your mat so you're not cranking on the neck. One more big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Take the other cheek to the mat. Now, whatever posture you're in, take your palms and press them into the mat in front of your forehead. So one hand will stack on top of the other. And then you're going to take your forehead to the back of your hand. Just rest it there. Now I invite you to stay there if that feels really good and nourishing. Otherwise, we're going to roll onto our backs and take the blanket with us, or a block if you have one. I'll demo it with the blanket though. Option to come into a supported bridge. If you'd like to take the more active version of bridge, you're more than welcome to do so. But otherwise, take the soles of the feet to the mat. Allow the shoulder blades to get heavy here. And then grab your blanket and kind of fold it so that it's more of a rectangle, almost like a yoga block shape. Inhale, lift up the hips and slide the blanket or block underneath your hips. And you want it to land on your, not on your low back, but more on your sacrum, that kind of triangle bone at the bottom of your spine. And adjust it, get it to so that's in the right position. And then maybe close down the eyes. Allow the palms to roll open. Get some space between your shoulders and your ears. Draw the shoulders down. See if you can draw your attention more inward right now. Now again, option to stay here, or begin to lift up your hips, slide the blanket out, and then you may need to sit up for a moment to set up for this one. So unfold your blanket so that it's kind of more like this. This length works really well for me. You may have to open it up again if you have a long torso, but roll it up so that you kind of have this nice roll of blanket. And take it so that it's long ways down your mat. We're just going to come to lay over it. So option to do the same thing with the feet that we did at the beginning of class, where soles of the feet together, knees knock in, or soles of the feet to the edge of the mat, sorry, knees knock in, soles of the feet together, knees wide in Supta Baddha Konasana, or you can send your legs out long. Whatever feels the best in your body. Like, take a moment to set up, because this is such a good one. So lay down over the blanket roll. Make sure it's nice and straighten up your spine. Get your legs in a position that feels good. And then allow the arms to come out to the sides. Now, if you've got a little bit of extra on the top of your blanket, you could kind of separate the roll a little bit and then sort of curl up the ends of it so it creates this really nice little cushion pillow for the back of your head. And then allow your body to just melt over the blanket roll. Allow the tissues to get really heavy here. The heart to open up a little bit. Then I'm going to invite you to do a really calming, nourishing practice with a bit of a self-facial massage. So stay in the posture. I'm going to come to seated so that if you need to look over and see what I'm doing, you can see that. I'm going to take your index finger and your middle finger and bring them from both hands to the place in between your eyebrows, kind of what's referred to as that third eye center. And just begin to apply a decent amount of pressure. Like, we're not trying to hurt ourselves, but we want there to be some pressure there. And then start to move your fingers down the bridge of your nose, down the sides of your nose. And push the fingers back up. Just rubbing from the forehead down the bridge of the nose. Again, this is totally optional. You can just stay lying in this gentle heart opener. Palms up if you'd like. Keep moving through that. And then the next one, you might want to involve your ring finger in this too, so that you have 3 fingers here, and you're just going to rub from the space underneath your eyebrow, so from this brow bone over to the edge, kind of near the temples, and then pick up your fingers and start from the center and move outwards again. And then take 2 fingers, your middle and your index finger, and gently massage the temples. And take those 2 fingers to the top of your ears where your hairline is, and just rub kind of along the hairline to the backs of the ears. I like to sometimes come all the way down to the point where the jaw bone is, and give that a little massage. And then keep doing that. So starting at the tops of the ears, working your way around. And one more time. And then take all of your fingers and fingertips reach for the scalp like you're giving yourself the most amazing shampoo ever. Just rub into the scalp. And then let that go. Option to take Shavasana with the roll up your spine, or gently slide the roll out and come into a more traditional Shavasana. But wherever you are, allow the back of the skull to get heavy, sacrum to get heavy. Relax through the fingertips and the palms, let the fingertips begin to curl up. And then allow this sensation of the bones being really heavy throughout the body to settle in. Now I invite you to stay here as long as you can. Maybe an extra long Shavasana feels super nourishing to you right now. And I want to thank you for taking the time to practice with me today. Namaste.